going on? Play Gaming here, back with another Epic 7 video, and today we're taking a look at Ancient Inheritance Season 3. So a little bit of walkthrough, a little bit of tips, a little bit of a guide. Starting off with this awesome resource, so big shout out to Big Red Delicious. So big shout out to Red Delicious for putting this together for the community. I will post a link in the description below if you want to have access to this, but this is a live Ancient Inheritance map. And what Red is doing is compiling the maps based on a lot of streamers, a lot of information coming in from the community. So make sure to check this out. This is also what I've been using. So if you want an entire map with some pre-filled items, feel free to check it out. All right, so moving on for day one, we're starting off at the very bottom and we're working our way up to the top. On the two sides, we do have the Wardens for this floor one. Ideally, you go straight for the Wardens, you take them out, and then you teleport up. And the teleport points are on the left and the right side. So after that, you're going to focus on taking out the main floor boss. You can avoid all of the chests and small battles if you want to go back later and pick up that elite chest that's there. I believe it's giving a mola and some EXP, which is kind of not bad, but focus on picking up the scrolls or those relics along the way and you should be fine. And so as I mentioned, today we're starting off on day number one. So this is a two-part video. So we do have day number one and day number two. You'll be able to see that we're kind of working our way up. And ideally for this season, we want to ensure that we bring in as many damage dealers as possible so that we have a big enough roster to be able to rotate through our units, right? Later on, you will have these health points where you can go back and recover the health of a few of your units. And then that'll allow you to cycle back and reuse that team to hopefully deal the same amount of damage. Usually you're gonna have one or two teams that can put up a high amount of damage when you are hitting boss monsters. But you'll notice that the overall strategy for this floor is just to go straight up to the Wardens for this floor so that we can unlock the teleport gates to go up and hit the main floor boss. If you do have a chance, I would recommend picking up relics and picking up scrolls along the way. We're pumping in all our tokens into warriors, mainly warriors, and then whatever we have left over, we are putting into soul weavers. I think the priority should be warriors and then soul weavers, and after that, potentially rangers. Rangers, we're only bringing in Iceria for now, just because of her S2 reset into the Tamarin. So you'll notice that most of the fights here, so we're going up against the Blind Eye Lich, we're bringing in the same team comp. So usually we're going to pair we're going to pair regular green Iceria with Tamarin for that S2 reset onto the Tamarin. We can then immediately hit with the Tamarin S3, which is going to give us some HP and allow us to CR push and attack buff. Camilla here is one of the best units, I think, for Ancient Inheritance, just because she defense breaks on the S1 and also dual attacks with the S1 when she has attack buff. She also gives herself attack buff, but if you pair her with Tamarin, if she can go before the Camilla, will have the attack buff beforehand, so you don't have to waste her S2, which then gives I believe the highest attack unit also an attack buff, and it allows you to cycle those dual attacks as much as possible. And you'll notice that we're working on the defense breaks, we're working on the dual attacks, trying to deal as much damage as possible. And you'll kind of rinse and repeat this for almost every smaller boss. Even the main floor bosses, you'll do something similar. Here we do have another dual attacker in Kitty Clarissa. She has a cleanse on the S3 and then a dual attack on the S1. Inferno Khawazu's brother, regular Fire Khawazu here, is going to be another unit that is really good for Ancient Inheritance because he has defense breaks on his S1 and his S3. And he is a warrior, so you can potentially pump up his stats really high. We have just a whatever counter set on him. We just completed the set for counter, threw it on him. It's not leveled, nothing. We don't even have him leveled, which is actually pretty nice. And you'll see he's putting in a decent amount of work. He also has some, I think, burns on the S1, and it just allows you to cycle through those defense breaks and put in damage. For the next one here, we do have a Soul Bad Guy. So this is a unit that doesn't get much play from me, but Ancient Inheritance is an area where, you know, they're fully molaed, they're fully leveled, so why not? Why not bring him? We did put him on a counter set. Again, not enhanced counter set, nothing, just to complete the set. That's pretty much it. And you'll see we do get some stray counters here and there. We do have regular Clarissa for the defense breaks. So if you're struggling with bringing in defense breaks, you know, Helga, there's a lot of warriors that have defense breaks on either the S1 or the S2 that you can bring in. They don't necessarily have to be MLs. We do have a Conquer Lilias there for the dual attacks and the vigor buff, but you'll see we put up about 400k points damage, which isn't too bad. It's fairly respectable. I think we could have probably done more if we would have got better relics for EXP, things like that, so we can pump in some more tokens into our warriors, because I think those in the end are going to be the most important based on the first 2 seasons, right? This is day 2 that we're moving into. You'll see we're picking up the relics and we're picking up some scrolls for some more EXP. We're pumping in more tokens into our warriors. So I think we got up to level 5 or 6 for warriors. We end up giving some tokens, I think, to our rangers, I think. But I mean, like I said, for the most part, you're going to get a lot of EXP for exploring. If you can pick up some of those relics that give you EXP for just moving around, those are going to be the best ones because they're going to allow you to level up a lot faster your exploration level and are going to give you more tokens and unlock more slots for you to bring in more units. You'll see here we have a similar comp, of course, bringing in the Iseria with the Tamarin, so we can reset. We get the defense break with the Iseria S3, which is going to allow us to put in a lot of damage with our Luna. This is going to be the Priest Kakwal, and for this guy, you're going to want to focus him down as much as possible. You're going to want to hold your cleanses though. I think we misplayed on this one. You know, we should have held our cleanses because he does seal. So ideally you're going to bring in units that don't have a passive. But if they do, I mean, it's fine. You honestly want to have a cleanse for this. You want to try to have some kind of attack buff if you can, just to deal damage, right? Soul burning on the Luna S1 has a lot of value, especially if you can get some defense breaks. The thing with this guy is that he's going to hit you with AoE defense break. So ideally you want to wait until he hits you with the AoE defense break, and then you can cleanse for this fight. But this one isn't too bad. You know, if you're saving your provisions, if you're moving your way through the labyrinth, try not to fight any small monsters. That'll allow you to have enough provisions for you to do at least 3 attacks onto whatever the boss is that you're trying to face. That'll give you at least those 3 attacks. I think we ended up having 3 for this one. We ended up not having enough units, but you know, we're putting in as much damage as possible. It's not just one person's responsibility to take out the boss, right? It's a whole team effort. You'll see here we do bring in that Camilla with the kitty Clarissa, and this time we do have Amelia. She's just there for the cleanse and for the CR push. Our main damage dealer was supposed to be Fire Ken, which is another one of my favorite units to use in Ancient Inheritance. He gives defense breaks on the S2. He has his own vigor buff on the S3, and he puts in a lot of damage on the S1 as well. I think he also gives defense breaks on the S1. But you'll notice that our Camilla is bringing the kitty Clarissa because she's the one with the highest attack, which is unfortunate. But you'll see here Ken providing a lot of support still because of his S1 defense breaks. We can soul burn here, which we do to just put in more damage, right? We go soul burn S2 into S3. He gets another turn if you do soul burn. But you'll see we didn't crit, right? We didn't crit on that one. But we worked our way up to 800 points. We do have one more team here. I think the last team that we end up using is just like 2 units because that's all that we had the XP for. But you'll see we have hand guy, no dual attackers here. However, we do have counters, or the ability to counter. Rem is on a counter set, and Fire Khawazu is also on a counter set. You'll see that we hold the hand guy S3 until we get defense broken there. So we can cleanse that, give everybody attack buff. And then Helga is there for some more defense breaks and some more damage. See, she hits for like 20k, which is pretty decent. The Rem was asleep the entire fight, which is, I mean, it's fine, but that's why you bring in multiple counters, multiple units that can put up damage. There's a Khawazu with the 100% effect chance to land the defense break, so it just ensures that we have the damage, or as much damage as possible, and a lot of uptime on the defense break. You'll see here he goes with the S3, hits with the unhealable and the defense break, and again we're just putting up as much damage as possible, so we're able to hit about 1 million. I think we hit 1.2. The last one we just have some ravies here for the damage. We just hit auto because, you know, whatever damage we can get here is fine. But for the most part, that's it for day number 2. We should be able to take out the priest cockwall at the end of day number 2, I believe, or probably midday. So we should be working our way to floor number 2. We'll be using that shared map that I mentioned earlier. So if you have any additional tips for everybody else, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. We'll be documenting our progress throughout Ancient Inheritance Season 3. So make sure to be on the lookout for the rest of the videos. If you haven't enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people like you who like content like this. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.